Hey everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. I wanted to make a video because we see a lot of people who were part of the Telos community, were part of EOS initially during the ICO, and then immediately just didn't like the direction it was going and decided to break off and do their own thing. And they went to mostly Telos and did a bunch of stuff, and then now we're seeing a lot of those people come back, and it's just kind of strange because, you know, when EOS started, there was a group basically with Block One, and you had people like Peter Thiel and Christian Angermeyer and all these I forget the one guy's name, but all these major hedge fund managers and just people that were multi-billionaires that you're looking at it and you go, these people wouldn't be involved in just some random thing. Like, what's going on here? So we started looking deeper and finding more and more evidence that these people were plotting to make a platform that, you know, they could benefit from and that we could benefit from. And we were looking at ways to do that and how to do that. And now, 4 years later, we've got the group that left coming back, and now we've got people who, you know, there's the James brothers, Nathan and Rami, and it's like, I have nothing against those guys, but there was like a while where, I mean, one of them was going through like a pretty like public Twitter like divorce, and I don't know, he was just like talking about his kids and about how depressed he was, and it was coming up with this weird art with like, it looked like people who were involved in like MK Ultra with like the eyes that were saucers and stuff. It was just really bizarre like stuff, and like we were watching this and it was like, man, you're just watching this guy like go down and there's really nothing you can do about it. And now for some reason, like, that person is trying to be put in like very large charge of like some serious stuff in like the EOS Network Foundation. And I mean, it's none of my business, but like, that just doesn't seem like what you would need when you're trying to run like a global like open source protocol thing. Like, you can have that, but like, contrast that with like Brendan Bloomer and Block One. Like, they have press releases that come out that are very scrubbed, very managed, every word has been checked by a dozen lawyers, you know, all these types of things. And then you have, when he does interviews, Brendan Bloomer goes on, you know, very top like financial news sites when they do things and stuff like that. They have Forbes articles and they get comments for this and that, and, you know, are operating. And then they, on top of that, they're partnered with things like Google, and you have Goldman Sachs executives on their board, and they have direct ties to literally the richest man in the world. I mean, Peter Thiel, that was part of Block One, co-founded PayPal with Elon Musk. Like, to not think that Elon doesn't know and has already picked this is like a very grave mistake on your part. But we see these types of connections. We've got Marty Chavez. I mean, the guy that left, oh man, I can't think of his name now. The guy that is in charge of Voice. I mean, Tom Farley, the guy from Bullish. I mean, all of these people are just like the top of their field in doing what they did, and now they're coming to the digital side and partnering up with the likes of Block One to just become this huge conglomerate. And then, I mean, I see someone on the other side, like the big bearded samurai, who was, I mean, he was on the podcast with Zach Gall after was his name? Finch left after the other guy left, and then now, he just is basically a self-appointed guy and like put this ragtag team together to try to go up against Block One, who has the Cooley law firm, who, I mean, basically if you're giving money to the EOS Network Foundation, like, I'm not sure. Like, Block One has billions and billions of dollars. They're getting 100 million a month in revenue just from Bullish now. So one of their streams is already taking off. Voice is launching. All their stuff is going like ballistic. And then, we've got the EOS Network Foundation pointing all of their guns from the community at them when they could just be like trying to help and actually make the blockchain better. And that's none of my business. Like, they can do whatever they want, but it's just like, how are you gonna support what's going on? Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And this is just like off the top of my head. I didn't write anything down. Like, you gotta think, if you actually went down and sat down, like the stuff that they've done and went through, like, if you really believe that Big Bearded Samurai was actually behind the EOS X loan vault hack, did they orchestrate that to be able to have that precedent? Well, he would be responsible for that. And so it's like, all the people who are doing like the most questionable stuff in the community, in the space, are somehow now in charge at one end, and then telling you to be totally against the people at the other end who, when I invested because of what Brendan was saying, what Dan was saying, what Brock was saying. It had nothing to do with the other people involved. Like, they don't have any, like, I don't know. It's just weird. So people are like, oh, you're against like EOS Network Foundation, or you're for Block One. And it's just like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, just use some basic logic. Like, we're just, if EOS came out right now and it was exactly the same, but the CEO of the whole thing was the Big Bearded Samurai and his like little group, like, there'd be no reason to invest. There'd be no reason to put any money. There'd be no reason to have any faith. There'd be no reason to expect anything. But yet, when Block One openly says that up front, they're bad. And now that EOS Network Foundation is promising the world they're going to sue Block One and give everyone their money back, it's like, dude, it's just weird. Like, there's bigger stuff going on. Like, the world is actually transitioning into the digital space. We're going into, fully digital surveilled panopticonic system, and then they're like, oh, come over here to this little group and support these couple of guys, and it's just like, man, get with the program. So I just want to put that out there. You know what I mean? It's really not even a choice. There is no choice of Block One versus EOS Network Foundation. You're either understand EOS and are dollar cost averaging EOS, or you're getting like led astray by these random people. So just want to put that out there. Stoffel Baker out.